During World War I, the Air Force rapidly developed from simple reconnaissance to lethal weapon platforms. People quickly discovered that these seemingly slow aircraft, when dropping bombs and strafing from the air, put ground personnel at a significant disadvantage. In order to change this unfavorable situation, military forces around the world began actively seeking anti-aircraft weapons. In addition to using machine guns for air defense, some flat-trajectory cannons were also used for anti-aircraft purposes. The French M1897 field gun was modified for use as an anti-aircraft gun and continued to be used until World War II. The M1897 field gun had a flat trajectory which made it barely usable for anti-aircraft fire, and it was able to disperse enemy aircraft formations. More importantly, as a new type of cannon in France, the country already had a production line and a large quantity of existing cannons from World War I, which was enough to support large-scale modifications. The specific modifications were simple, with no changes to the cannon barrel and structure, only modifying the original carriage to allow the cannon to be fired at a high angle and to shoot anti-aircraft ammunition, which proved to be effective, making it an early medium-caliber anti-aircraft gun. The biggest issue was that anti-aircraft combat not only required a high firing angle, but also the ability to adjust the direction angle flexibly, which the original carriage modifications were unable to achieve. To meet this requirement, designers came up with many solutions. The simplest was to set up concrete pillars at fixed positions, each with a circular track matching the cannon wheels, allowing the entire carriage to be moved for rough aiming and the barrel to be adjusted for precise aiming. However, this structure was too simple and not very reliable. Another more professional carriage design, which eliminated the original cannon wheels and replaced them with a crude rotating carriage, allowed the gunner to stand on a platform to operate the cannon, greatly increasing efficiency. In addition to these fixed-position anti-aircraft guns, France also designed early self-propelled anti-aircraft guns on trucks, with the cannon mounts installed on the truck's cargo bed. Based on the remaining photos, there were various models, including pillar-mounted naval guns and rotating styles with bearings. Converting field guns into anti-aircraft guns was a temporary measure and had become outdated after World War I. The military needed anti-aircraft guns that could shoot higher and farther. However, after the massive economic damage from the war and the decision to build the Maginot Line, France's funds and resources for other projects were very limited. Even though they were short on money, the technology was still there. In the 1920s, Schneider Company in France designed new barrels for these anti-aircraft guns, with longer bores, to some extent improving their combat capabilities. For example, the 1932 improved Toad model had a combat weight of 3.8 tons, a traveling weight of 5.3 tons, a barrel elevation angle of 5 degrees to 70 degrees, a muzzle velocity of 700 meters per second, a maximum effective shooting height of 7,000 meters, and a maximum firing rate of about 25 rounds per minute. These data were quite good in the early 1930s, especially considering that at that time, there were no aircraft flying at altitudes of over 10,000 meters, and most aircraft had a flight speed of less than 400 kilometers per hour. However, the upgrade work for these anti-aircraft guns progressed very slowly. By the outbreak of World War II, only a few hundred had been upgraded. Moreover, their performance against the aircraft of that era was already outdated. Combined with the strategic and tactical failures of the French military, these anti-aircraft guns had little impact, and those deployed on the Maginot Line did not even fire a shot. Even more importantly, the construction of the French air defense forces was not clearly defined until the early days of World War II. The use of anti-aircraft weapons was still decentralized, and there was no cohesive military strategy, further weakening the already limited air defense capabilities. For these weapons and equipment from the end of the last century, the German army found it difficult to put them to use after capturing them. Some were distributed to Allied forces, while others were used on the Atlantic Wall to defend against potential counterattacks by the Allies.